Okay, so when you're making yarn, what you're taking is two pieces of wool that have been twisted in the same direction. And now you're taking them, you're going to tie them together, and you're going to twist them in the opposite direction. And by twisting them in the opposite direction, they hold on to each other and they stay together. They're not going to unwind. And that's what yarn is. You can get it not done that way, and that's called a single ply. And it's still yarn, but it doesn't, it's going to be loftier because it doesn't have that extra twist in it. And it's going to be more open. So it's just a different way to do it, and it gives you a different pattern on your garment, whatever you're making. So you take whatever's on your spindle. On a spinning wheel you don't do it this way, but for a drop spindle you make a ball of yarn. Can you even see that? You make a ball of yarn, you put it in a jar, and you cut a hole in the top. And you take your yarn, if I can find the end, there we go. This one I was making thread apparently because it's really tiny. Okay, so make sure that the sharp end from that, I just take a nail and hammer it through a lid. See, you want those edges to be up and out, not down and in, because then they'll catch. And so you got a piece here. And you do the same thing, put one in here, pull it out, and then you're going to take your two pieces and you're going to look at your pieces of yarn. Let's see if I can find one that'll be obvious. So this is a commercial piece of yarn. So you're going to look at your individual pieces that are in there, and you're going to look and see, where's my camera? Which way, focus, which way was this spun? Which direction was this spun in? And both pieces of yarn need to be from the same end because they have to be spun in the same direction. And then you're going to take your drop spindle, attach them, and you're going to spin them in the opposite direction. With a spinning wheel, you just take the bobbins off, put them on a lazy Kate, and then spin them in the opposite direction using a lazy Kate. But it's super easy to do it on a spindle too. And you can do 2 or 3 plies, you can do 4 plies, you can do 17 plies if you really, really want to. You run out of space quickly on a drop spindle doing 17 ply. What else is there? When you are done with your, you don't wash your wool until after you have it, well, when you take it from the sheep, you can wash it. But after it's dried from that and after you've spun it, you don't wash it until after you have it plied, because what will happen is you get your yarn wet after you have it put in your hank. Where did I put my Niddy-Noddy? This is your Niddy-Noddy. And it's what you do after you have your after you have it spun and after you have it plied. You take it off the drop spindle and you put it on a Niddy-Noddy. And when you put it on a Niddy-Noddy, it becomes a hank, which means that it's twisted in a nice way for storage, but it's in a way that won't stretch it. We'll see if it's been a little while since I did this. Let's see if I can remember. There we go. That's how you do it. And once you're done with this, so you have your whole piece of yarn, on this, the whole piece. Make sure not to pull it too tight. You just want it to be secure. So after it's finished, this is why one of my teeth is shorter than everything else. It's because I cut my yarn with my teeth, which is really stupid. So take it off like this. You spin it. And it coils up on itself like that. And I just pull one end through the other, like that. Spin it up like that. And then you go and you take some lukewarm water, you submerge it in the lukewarm water, let it sit for a second, squeeze it a bit. Then when you pull it back out, so yeah, you don't loop it through quite so that you lose it, because they need to hold together. Then you take it and you hang it from something. This hangs, I like to put it on the neck of a hanger, and then I put my hanger up on a loop of something, and then I put a weight at the bottom that's just strong enough to hold it so that it stays straight. And then you let it dry like this, because you don't want it to curl up on itself in kinky ways, because then it's not regular. It's not a regular uniform twist. And you let it dry like that. It can take forever when you're in the middle of a project. Try to do it all at the same time so that you can kind of judge what the weight was, so everything is consistent and everything has the same twist. When you spread out your spinning between several days or months, you don't spin the same at this time as you will in 2 months when you're more tired or where you have more energy or whatever. Try to do your spinning all at one time for one project. Let that hang, let it dry, and then you can take it down, put it in storage out of the sunshine, and just use it as you're ready to use it. And that's pretty much spinning. I can't really teach any special techniques or anything, because that's not really my specialty. There's people on YouTube that do that kind of thing, but for a crash course, as far as using basic tools, I will try to get around to showing you how to wash the fleece that I just took off the jumper. The biggest thing that I really can say about that is make sure you put it in garment bags, the lingerie bags, when you wash it, because it keeps it from getting agitated, and it makes it so you can put all the wool of a certain length and texture together so that it stays together and it dries together kind of in a mat so that it all is just together. And I think that's it. Again, I'll try and get the wool done, show you how to wash it here in a bit.